I'm a 28-year-old guy, and I've been happily married to my awesome wife, Ella, who's 25 for about 3 years now. We're the kind of couple who knows each other so well that we finish each other's sentences and laugh at each other's silly jokes. Life has been pretty great, or at least that's what I believed. Recently, though, I couldn't help but notice that Ella has been acting a bit strange. She started staying late at work more often and became all secretive about her phone. It might sound weird, but call it a gut feeling or just intuition. I had this hunch that something might not be quite right. After weeks of trying to push away those troubling thoughts, I finally decided to confront the situation head-on. It was nerve-wracking, but I knew I needed to find the truth, even if it meant facing some painful realities. Late one night, while she was asleep, I planned to check her phone and go through her messages and apps. I had never done something like this before, but I hoped it would give me some clarity, and deep down, I prayed that my gut instincts were wrong. As I was swiping through her photo gallery, my heart sank when I saw a picture of her with an unfamiliar man kissing her cheek. I couldn't help but think, what on earth is going on? Why would she do this if she was happy with me? My curiosity led me to read her messages, and that's when I discovered a chat with a guy named Jacob. They had been meeting up at hotels, and their conversation was filled with very explicit and intimate details. It was a painful and shocking revelation that left me feeling betrayed and hurt. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this, but now I needed to figure out how to confront her and talk about what I had discovered. I was feeling a whirlwind of emotions, furious and heartbroken at the same time. The person I loved the most had betrayed me by cheating with another man. Trying to process it all, I decided to sleep on it and confront Ella in the morning. When morning came, she looked really stressed and anxious. She must have noticed that her phone was moved from her usual spot on the bedside table. Annoyed, she asked me if I had gone through her phone. With a calm expression, I told her to stop pretending because I already knew she had been cheating on me. To my complete surprise, Ella broke down and admitted that she had cheated because she felt bored with her life and Jacob, the other man, was also married. She went on to reveal that they were in love and that Jacob's wife had no idea about their affair. As she divulged more and more details, my heart sank, and it felt like my world was collapsing around me. It was after that moment that I felt a sense of responsibility not only to myself, but also to Jacob's unsuspecting wife, Mandy. She deserved to know the truth about what was happening. So, I made up my mind to talk to Mandy about everything. I knew it wouldn't be an easy conversation, but I couldn't let her continue living in the dark. To reach out to her, I reached out to her on social media after finding out Jacob's social media when I was going through the messages. I asked her if we could meet privately to talk, and she was hesitant at first, and then I told her that I have something to tell her about her husband. Then she agreed, and we decided to meet at a quiet cafe. As I started to share the truth with Mandy, her face went through a roller coaster of emotions from shock to disbelief, and finally, heartbreak. It was clear that this revelation was painful for her to take in. Despite the heartache, Mandy appreciated me telling her the truth. She deserved to know what was happening behind her back, and I hoped she would gather the strength to confront her cheating husband and find a better path for herself. Seeking revenge can be a risky game, but I wanted Jacob to understand the pain he caused both me and Mandy. So I decided to give him a taste of his own medicine. I created a fake social media account and began flirting with Jacob, knowing he wouldn't be able to resist. I portrayed myself as a single woman, looking for excitement and adventure. Sure enough, Jacob fell right into the trap, and we started chatting regularly. I couldn't help but think about how Ella would react when she discovers that her supposed true love is also cheating on her. I played my part to perfection, leading Jacob on and making him believe that there was a real chance for something more between us. I could tell he was excited and eager to meet in person. That's when I decided to drop the bombshell. I revealed my true identity and confronted him about the affair with Ella. To make things even more intense, I asked Mandy to be there with me, and I also ensured that Ella would be present too. When we all got there, the expressions on Ella's and Jacob's faces were absolutely priceless. Mandy didn't hold back and told Jacob that she was divorcing him and done with their relationship. At the same time, I didn't spare Ella the truth either. I let her know that her so-called lover, Jacob, had come to meet me, thinking I was a woman to hook up with. To add to the drama, I handed over the divorce papers to her. The shock and guilt in Jacob's voice were evident as he tried to explain himself, but I wasn't interested in his excuses. I wanted him to feel the same pain he caused others. After that confrontation, I cut all contact and walked away, feeling a mix of satisfaction and sorrow. Ella looked equally confused, and she started to cry, begging me to stay and that she still loved me. I didn't believe anything she said. I told her that I will give her a week to pack up and leave from my house, and I walked away. It felt amazing to get back at her, and moreover, it felt amazing to pick myself up for once. I deserve better, and I know it. In the weeks that followed, the pain slowly began to subside, and I focused on rebuilding my life. With the support of friends and family, I rediscovered the person I was before the betrayal, and I started to heal. During this time, I also took the necessary steps to finalize my divorce from Ella. It was a challenging process emotionally, but I knew it was the right decision for my own well-being and happiness. As for Mandy, she and I developed a strong bond of friendship. Going through similar experiences had connected us in a unique way, and we both found solace in each other's company. Mandy decided to move on from the painful chapter of her life and focus on her own growth and happiness. In the months that followed, I immersed myself in new hobbies, career opportunities, and social activities. I surrounded myself with positive influences and took the time to rediscover what truly made me happy. Through self-reflection and personal growth, I came to realize that my worth wasn't defined by anyone else's actions or choices. I learned to love and value myself, and that newfound self-respect allowed me to attract healthier relationships into my life. Eventually, I met someone new, a kind, understanding, and loyal person who appreciated me for who I was and treated me with the love and respect I deserved. We took things slowly, allowing trust and affection to blossom naturally. This relationship taught me that there is hope for love after heartbreak, and that the right person can come into your life when you least expect it. As for Ella and Jacob, I heard through the grapevine that their relationship was short-lived after the confrontation. The trust they once had in each other was irrevocably shattered, and they went their separate ways. In the end, I chose not to dwell on revenge or bitterness. Instead, I focused on my own growth and happiness. The experience taught me valuable lessons about trust, forgiveness, and the importance of prioritizing self-love. OP, I want to say that I'm truly sorry you had to go through such a painful experience. Discovering infidelity in a relationship can be devastating, and it takes a lot of courage to confront the situation head-on like you did. It's understandable that you wanted Jacob to understand the consequences of his actions and to feel the pain he caused others. Your decision to expose the truth to Jacob's wife, Mandy, was incredibly brave and considerate. By doing so, you not only stood up for yourself, but also saved her from continuing a relationship with a cheater. Ending things with Ella may have been tough, but it's evident that you realized your self-worth and that you deserve better than being treated that way. Putting yourself first and choosing to walk away from a toxic situation was the right thing to do. You should never settle for anything less than a loving and faithful partner who respects you. It's important to remember that healing from this experience will take time, but know that you made the right choices for your own well-being. As you move forward, may you find the happiness and love you truly deserve, surrounded by people who genuinely appreciate and care for you. You've shown strength and integrity throughout this ordeal, and I truly sympathize with what you've been through. Keep your head high and remember that better things await you on the horizon. With this new person you've met, continue to take things slowly and make sure to look out for any red flags. Thank you for sharing with us. Now let's get into our second story for today. So, my wife and I have been married for 11 years, and we have 2 daughters aged 10 and 11. The other day, I was online taking care of some minor medical stuff when I noticed some appointments on the list that I wasn't aware of, appointments for my wife. I saw one for her being 6 weeks pregnant and another for her having an abortion. I was completely taken aback by this discovery. Later that night, I decided to ask her about it. I wanted to know if she had any plans to tell me about the pregnancy. Our conversation became a bit intense, with her asking me questions and me trying to understand why she hadn't shared this with me earlier. I mentioned the abortion as well, and we went back and forth discussing how I found out and what led to this situation. Honestly, at that moment, I wasn't even considering the possibility of someone else being involved. You see, I had a vasectomy a few years back, and I had a follow-up appointment to confirm that the procedure was successful. Of course, I'm aware that vasectomies can sometimes reverse themselves, but it didn't immediately cross my mind. As the story continues, I'm doing my best to be supportive, even though I'm not particularly upset about anything except for the fact that she kept this from me. Then she drops a bombshell. She confesses that she was afraid to tell me about the pregnancy because she wasn't sure if I was the father. It turns out she's been having unprotected sex with a coworker in the back of her car. She works nights for the past 6 months. I was completely blindsided by this affair. According to her, she regrets the decision to have an abortion, which happened back in early November. Shockingly, she admits that she continued to have sex with him, even a couple of times in February. Right now, she's an emotional mess, and although I really want to comfort her, I'm trying to stay strong. It's hard to come to terms with what she's done. She's the one who made these choices, and now she has to face the consequences. I want to make it clear that I don't blame myself for what happened. It was her decision, her actions, and her mistakes. Even though this all unfolded just earlier this week, I'm feeling incredibly torn up inside. I still love this woman deeply, but I can't overlook or forgive what she did. Our 11 years of building a relationship and trust seem to have crumbled in a single day. My priority now is her well-being, but I've come to the realization that I can't be the one to provide that for her anymore. I've already expressed my desire for a separation, and I've asked her to move out. I live in a home that I rent for my mother, and part of the agreement is that I also help take care of my grandmother, who lives with us. It would be incredibly awkward for her to stay here once the rest of the family knows about the situation. However, even if my grandmother didn't live with us, I would still ask her to move out. My mindset is that I didn't cheat, so why should I be the one to uproot my life? It's a difficult and emotional situation, but I know I need to prioritize my own well-being and make decisions that are right for me moving forward. I've reached out to a lawyer, and I'm in the process of gathering information for the separation papers. I've also taken the responsible step of getting tested for STDs, and fortunately, the results so far have been clean. I haven't told my children about the situation yet. My soon-to-be ex wanted to downplay it as just a breakup, but I firmly believe they need to understand the seriousness of a marriage, so I plan to be honest with them about the fact that their mother had a boyfriend. She started crying and told me to not tell anyone about the reason for the breakup, and especially not the kids. Her words were falling to deaf ears. I was the one who was supposed to be crying and asking her why she did what she did, but here I am making calls to my immediate family telling them that me and my wife are splitting up, and the reason is because she cheated on me, and she is pregnant with another man's child. I still haven't met this man, and I have no intentions to meet him either. He can take my ex and leave my daughters to me. My mother-in-law called me and apologized on behalf of my ex and told her that she is stupid for doing this to such a good man. I didn't know what to say either. I loved her family dearly, and they picked my side too. They said that they completely cut off ties with her, and that she deserves to suffer the consequences. I later kicked her out of the house and said I will be taking full custody of the kids, and now she can go live with that co-worker of hers. She didn't utter a word after that. This whole experience has been incredibly tough on me. I feel like I'm barely holding myself together, especially today. I'm trying to maintain a strong front in front of my daughters, but there are moments when I have to step away to collect myself. It's been a few weeks since I last heard from my ex, and things have been going pretty well for me. The custody case for my 2 girls seems to be in my favor, and they are coping with everything remarkably well. I'm relieved that I can finally find happiness in the company of just my girls and myself. OP, I want to extend my deepest sympathies to you for the heartbreak and pain you're going through. It takes immense courage to confront such a difficult situation head-on and prioritize the well-being of your 2 daughters. Please know that what you did was absolutely the right thing. It's clear that you care deeply for your girls and want to teach them the importance of honesty and commitment in a marriage. While the road ahead may be tough, I believe you and your daughters will be better off without your ex-wife's actions and betrayal in your lives. With time, wounds will heal and you'll find happiness again. Stay strong and remember that you have made a decision that reflects your strength and love for your family. Your resilience will undoubtedly lead to brighter days ahead. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to today's stories. If you enjoyed listening, please feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, comment below with your thoughts on what happened. If there is a story you would like to share with me about your own situation or someone else's, then please do not hesitate to contact me. Take care.